The first pillage target for the Covenant is here, and today I'm going to show you how to use your special weapon on your ships, even if you just have 4 of them, to get this done for instant repair. Hey everyone, Debra here, and welcome back to another Battle Pirates video. As I get started, I do want to mention that my build will be available at the end of the video, as it always is. Now, the technique I'm going to be using is I'm going to be taking my ships, and I'm going to be using the heavy weapon to line them up on some of these turrets that don't do any damage to you, and hit the turrets that actually are going to hurt you. And I'm going to show you the thumbnail again here because these are the general lines I'm taking to approach this target. Now you can do this with a few other ships and some other techniques, but I want to show this one in this video. By the way, it does matter where you enter from. I like to enter from the right side so I can hit this first cluster right here. Now you need to watch out and make sure you don't accidentally hit this random distracting building on the left and actually hit the turret first, otherwise you're not really going to do full damage. And as you can see, I'm able to get my damage onto the turret from my built-in weapons, and I don't quite kill it in one go, but the retargeting does work very, very well. Now if you have 5 ships, you probably do even more damage than I do, and you have 1 more heavy weapon, which means you're able to be completely fine there. The second cluster right here, we're using the same technique to get the UAV turret by targeting off the mortar turret. Nothing really too tricky. Now I do want to go and pivot out to the right side and see if I can't grab the this particular UAV turret by chaining off the green building, because that is a pretty tricky one and you do want to make sure you get it done just about exactly right. You have to spin over pretty quick here. As you can see, I did actually miss most of that, but I did get enough damage onto him when I target off the short-range missile turret. Later in the target, I'll be able to kill him completely fine. Let's go up towards the top of the target and see if we can target off this small red building onto the missile turret. By the way, some of these turrets look pretty similar. This is a long-range missile turret. This is a long/medium-range rocket turret. And we do have mortar turrets which are hiding out like in the center of the target. They look really, really similar, but feel free to watch my breakdown video on the target if you do want a little bit more detail. Now let's see if we can't get close to the turret right there. There we go. Green stuff and almost onto all of the turret right here, which is the rocket turret. Might have to come do a cleanup later on that one. Now I'm going to wait a while and make sure my missiles have enough time to reload my heavy missiles, and I'm going to hit the small building right here and get some damage onto the missile turret back there. I was also able to do some damage and actually kill the short-range missile one, which could just help speed up the time to complete the target. Now don't worry about the Void Arc Battle Carrier ship right here. It's not going to do any damage to you unless you get close to it, which is what happened on my first run in this target. Actually, there's quite a bit of wiggle room, but I still messed up. And I'm not really able to do any extra damage on anything with my built-in weapon. I can get some damage onto the short-range missile turret right here, but you don't actually want to do that, because you want to use this one to target off of, use this built-in right here, and chain, or not really chain is for the arcs, which again is something that can actually kind of do this target, do some damage onto the UAV. Next up is the rocket turret. We do want to see if we can get some damage from the outpost right here onto the rocket turret, which is a pretty interesting approach angle. See if we can't get that one there. And looks like we did do some damage on him, but we're going to loop back around and use the mortar as well and do damage off the mortar onto that one. Now, in cases where you can't quite kill a turret, this one is over here all by itself. Maybe I can wait for the ship to circle back around and do that, but I'm a little bit too lazy to do that. I'm just going to stay moving, get some damage onto him, and kind of kite him. Now, I have taken just a tiny bit of damage there. Shouldn't be too much, just a hair of damage on my Covenants, but it's not going to be instant repair or instant repair on map, probably because of that one. Okay, at this point, I don't want to get too close to the mortar turret yet, or don't want to kill it yet, because I do want my built-in weapons to fire, and I don't want them to fire at the ship, so I'm going to have to sneak in here just in front of the ship, hopefully actually do some damage onto the ship with my regular weapons, and pivot around. Okay, mortar turret. Looks like I did just barely get some damage from the mortar turret onto the rocket turret, was able to kill it. Let's go ahead and kill the ship right here. I don't want to use my built-in because I don't want to actually kill these random distracting buildings, because I'm going to use them a little bit later in the target. Actually, maybe even right now to see if I can't get some damage onto the rocket. Just make sure you're staying away from the UAV. I'm going to go ahead and line up. Ignore the mortar one. He's not going to do any damage to you. Right here, a little bit of green damage. Didn't quite kill it though. We'll come back to him later. I did get some retargeting onto the UAV, which should help kill it in one pass. The UAV in particular can be really hard to kill in one particular pass, at least with 4 ships. Those of you who have changes to your ships and don't really have too much splash specials, and again I'll show you the build at the end, might want to consider changing because of what you're seeing here. Now again, I do want to see if I can take this approach with just the right angle to hit both of these turrets at once. It might not be possible, in which case I would definitely favor hitting the UAV turret just because its potential damage is so much worse. But let's see just how much splash we can do onto both of these guys at once. Looks like I was able to get most of them down here, and here comes the really difficult technique for this. And because the UAV guy right here has a telegraph reload stat, it means if you duck in and out of the fire ring right here, he's not actually going to shoot at you at all, which is a pretty advanced move, but let's see if we can't pull it off. Going straight here, pivot, and cool, got 1 or 2 shots off. Unfortunately, the missile turret did shoot at me, but luckily my evade or MDS-3s work against this one fine, so he is going to get 1 volley off at me that is a little bit more guaranteed damage. You saw 1 or 2 hit and 1 or 2 miss. Not too much damage across my fleet though. Here's the mortar guy, he doesn't really matter, you can kill him pretty quickly. Just try and stay at maximum range, otherwise you will need even higher projectile speed than my already quite very high projectile speed build. Alright, these next 2 turrets should do no damage to you. It's just again the mortar and the short range missile turret. You can pretty much ignore these and just kill them very, very quickly. Let's jump back over to the center of the target, use this short range missile to target onto the UAV. Just make sure you don't get too close just yet. Alright, spinning over, and there we go. Built-in weapon kills the middle UAV completely fine. For this rocket turret right here, we're going to come back at him from another angle. We're going to go all the way around the outside because, you know, the ships are dead. I killed that one, so I can't use it to target onto him. I do want to stay moving, which means I can't stop in front of the ship. So we'll just see if we can just get a little bit of damage off on him. He is going to do a hair towards me, but not too worried about that. I don't really want to run directly into this UAV right here. I think if I went around the top, I might actually get in range of him, which I don't want to do. So instead, we're going to go all the way back to the left side of the target, kill the ship, and then use the short-range guy right here, or possibly the shipyard, to target onto these 2 final turrets. Now, you will start to get the practice, get the hang of this particular target approach and style, because as you can see here, I've been here just about 8 minutes, which you won't really need to do too much longer. I am being very, very careful about not doing any extra damage, or not taking any extra damage rather, in this target. There goes the Ark ship, and of course I do only have 4 ships. If you have a 5th one built, you'll do even better than I will. See if we can't get some damage, hopefully off on the turret, not on the shipyard. And, oh, we hit the shipyard, so we are going to get a little bit of damage by this UAV, so I'm going to have to demonstrate that UAV technique another time. What you want to do is run kind of close to him. I'm not going directly into the arc. I'm taking sort of a chord of the circle. If you remember your geometry, I'm not going directly in. I'm just cutting across the outside. And I do wish I hadn't clicked on that, because now I can't see when he's going to fire, which is a little bit annoying. Okay, he did not fire that time either. That's good. Well, let's go ahead and check out the damage, the battle report, and the build. There are a few other driving techniques that you could use. I intend to make a separate dedicated video on those, as well as the new special that we just got, which it might be surprising whether you should put it on your ships or not. As you can see, I took a little bit more of the explosive damage. This is going to be from the rockets, and then a few missile shots, and that is from the missile turret that Evade works against and MDS-3 works against, obviously, here. In terms of its damage, it has a decent amount of penetrative resist, not too much though, so hey, maybe another tier 11 ship might be worth using. Here's the total repair time. It is 8 minutes and 46 seconds, which is the instant repair I promised you, although it is instant base repair. If I hit this another 2 or 3 times, I might be able to get this down to instant nap, but I'm not going to do that. This is my 2nd run against this target, the entire pillage, 2nd time I've seen this, and that is 9 minutes of damage. Well, I hope this video did help you, and I want to give a huge thank you to the channel members whose names appear on the end screen now. They're helping keep videos like this one possible. And until next time, and as always, this is Derpy, signing out, helping you be a better pirate.